People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in each and every time. It means a lot. Yeah, obviously, Sunday afternoon, Arsenal defeated Everton 3-2, came back from behind. And I've already made my post-match comments in the review, and I've done the player ratings, and I'm sure you've all got your opinions. But we might as well speak about tactically. Now, we won 3-2, but I'm pretty sure when the emotion and the dust settles and Arsenal begin training for Olympiacos, I can imagine there'll be some training of sorts on Monday. Obviously, they've played a lot of games. There's fatigue. There'll be a lot of rest on Monday as well, people, and rehabilitation because we played the game. But I can imagine when the analytical team goes through it, or Arteta watches the game, or even the players, they'll be disappointed with the 2 goals we've conceded. Probably there's a couple other bits and pieces we could have done better, but positives, obviously the young players. Saka didn't have the best of second halves, but he's clearly young and tired. Still came on the field and changed the game. Eddie Nketiah had a goal to match his great general play. I think Ceballos, since he's been coming back into the side, has been getting football, and these are the performances you wanted to see all season from him. I'm not blaming him because it's been a crazy one for him. Obviously, Ozil put on a clinic in the second half. Pepe got another assist. Aubameyang, there's no point even speaking. Well, we will speak about him, but he's a terrific striker with terrific statistics. And, it's probably our last moments with Aubameyang. It would be nice to keep him at the club beyond 2021. But we'll have to see. Now, obviously, we knew what we was getting against Everton. Again, I haven't got the what's the thing called again? It's Monday and my brain's not working. Bless me, people. I haven't got the stand, but obviously we're attacking that way, Everton attacking this way. You knew what we was going against. We was going against a 4-4-2. What I saw Ancelotti do as well, his plan clearly was to be narrow defensively, because he went with Iwobi, who tucked in as well, tucked in a lot. Sigurdsson on the left tucked in. Obviously you had their strikers dropping back as well behind the ball to make them resolute. And on top of obviously having Sigurdsson narrow, you've got old school left back in Baines. Now I know Tijani wasn't available, so a lot of it might be through force rather than design, but I saw what he tried to do. He tried to lock this hand side down. I do think Pickford, not blaming him alone, but even when they took the lead, people, Pickford's playing out from the back. It played a part for us getting the goal, but he looks very nervous. The goal we conceded, obviously literally early on, Ceballos conceded a free kick. Not his fault, but it is a poor goal to concede for several reasons, people. Again, not to scale, but I can remember Calvert-Lewin, Yerry Mina, who else was there? Calvert-Lewin, Yerry Mina. Let me look at my notes. Holgate. Not to scale, but I say Holgate was there. Calvert-Lewin was here. Say Yerry Mina as well. Now there was a lot going on in our box, people, and I feel a couple of notes. I feel David Luiz, he got kind of undone as well. David Luiz kind of got undone. I think Kolasinac and Yerry Mina before the free kicks come in. I think Xhaka's lost his man as well. There's quite a few. Looking back at it, people, and I've actually taken a picture on this camera, but looking back, it was a disappointing goal for us to concede. Now, it's obviously a dead ball situation. Now, it was a bit of 6s and 7s because I saw Yerry Mina very early on. Obviously, we like to play off sides as a team. We hold our line quite well, and we like to play off sides. Maybe a lot of that was maybe this was a reason as to what Everton tried to go against. But I don't know if Kolasinac has been told to man mark Yerry Mina or not. But I see initially Yerry Mina does that. He follows him. Instantly, everybody's on side now. Everybody's literally on side. I can't remember who was who, but I'm pretty sure there was a runner in between David Luiz and Mustafi. It kind of put David Luiz off for his header. If you notice, he's done something like that, and it's a half-hearted sort of one for Calvert-Lewin to convert. And then you had Holgate make this run as well, and I think Xhaka lost Holgate, because obviously when the ball eventually came in, people, you could see Xhaka's flat-footed. A lot of our teams caught flat-footed, but we just let ourselves down. You've got Holgate, like I said, you had Holgate, you had It's disappointing because if it wasn't Calvert-Lewin, they could have been more scorers. You had Kolasinac and Yeremina around the back. You had Dominic Calvert-Lewin actually make a run as well. You had, what's his name, Holgate make a good run as well. And it all really put us off. And going into the game, we knew set pieces against Everton, we was going to be in for a dogfight. We need to fix up in that regards. So I'm sure that's the one disappointment Arteta and the players will have, because we probably worked all week to avoid them sort of goals. And much like in boxing, everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. Shout out to Tyson Fury for showing, you know, who really runs this side of the Atlantic, going there and doing his thing against them, against Wilder. Told man Wilder weren't going to win, but this is a football review. So yeah, we let ourselves down. We let ourselves down for that goal, people. We really did let ourselves down for that goal. But I did think we reacted well. I think we reacted very well. One thing I did see from Everton is Everton didn't really have much planning in possession. Did they come and try and play with the ball? Because I did think playing out from the back, one benefit is, even when we went a goal down, you saw us pressing as a four, people. You saw us have some inspiration. You saw us be hungry, start hunting impacts, especially when my man came on. And I felt Everton found that nervous. They was playing hot potato, and Pickford kept kicking it long, and inviting pressure onto himself, people. And literally that's how we actually score our first goal, people. If you allow me to move all this crap back for a sec. Obviously, I've already mentioned the change of Saka made the difference, but it's literally a long ball from Pickford is intercepted by, who intercepts it? It doesn't even matter who intercepts it, people. But long story short, I believe Xhaka actually sweeps it up. It ends back with Leno. It's about 6 or 7 passes before we score, people. It's a lovely bit of play. Obviously, at this moment in time with Saka, I wouldn't say Bellerin was that high, but you saw us playing a bit higher as a team. And obviously when Saka comes, he's almost hugging that touchline, because Xhaka will hug that position for him. And we're getting something in the team now. Xhaka's obviously played it down the path of Xhaka. Let's remove you because you're irrelevant. Played it down here. And Eddie's made lovely movement, people. It's a lovely run from Eddie. The two defenders are not aware of him. He runs, he makes the run, he stays on side. He obviously scores, people. And that was the first, at that period, that was the first bit of quality. But that really just came off Pickford looking nervous from the moment they scored. And just really not being at it really led to them conceding that goal. Like, you could see Pickford's nervous, and he was just inviting the ball. They're just playing. Obviously, when you're playing with two battering rams in Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison that relish a physical fight, you know you will play it long. But they needed other ideas, because I think Luiz, and to more of an extent Mustafi, he was getting tight. He relished the physical battle. And the one positive I say of Everton, I think they gave Bellerin a hard time, because they kept knocking balls into this channel for Richarlison. There was one moment the ball came into the channel, Richarlison picked it up, Bellerin just backing off him, and he invited him through, and he almost had an effort. So it is what it is in that regards, people. Obviously, for us to make it 2-1, I really liked what we did as well. What we came with as well, people. Obviously, I believe Dani Ceballos wins the ball, and if I just remove everybody for a second, just to illustrate what he does to Sidibe, man, like he really done Sidibe, dirty in that regards. Really done him dirty, man. He did not deserve that. Did not deserve that at all. But this is why I like Aubameyang, people. Now, it's a lovely run. To make it easy, let's remove everybody. The ball eventually goes to Luiz. Luiz has the ball, and he has a decision to make. And what I love about Aubameyang, it's a smart run, people. It's a smart run. Because all while Luiz is coming up from the back, Sidibe's here. He's not exactly aware. Aubameyang creeping on the flanks. But what I loved, if you watch the goal, people, he checks in slightly and then checks out. That's messed him up. That's messed him up already, because he's already had to think for a second, where's Aubameyang? By them balls in behind, you know Aubameyang does the rest, people. You know yourself. Before I forget about it as well, so it's a lovely bit of play for Aubameyang's goal, and obviously Eddie's. Before I forget about the third one, it's also a lovely goal. It's also a lovely goal, because Pepe done his thing. I think he needs a bit of support with Bellerin to make that overlapping run so defenders don't realise what we're doing a bit more. But it's a lovely run from Aubameyang. Now, it's a bit of a different run. It's just about desire, people. It's about desire. Because all while Pepe's doing his thing, you can see Aubameyang in shot running. It's about desire. He gets into the box. It's like he stops for a sec. He realises where I am. He actually makes the slightest of body movements, people. The ball comes in and he heads home, people. And any young striker, listen, just movement. Aubameyang is one of the best in the world in terms of movement. How can a man, obviously he plays predominantly through the middle, puts a shift out wide, something he's done in his career. How can he be so clinical from the flanks? The sorts of runs he makes. For me, especially considering his age has no relevance in how he plays football, but I'm sure he would like to be playing centrally. But you'll never get that from the way he puts in a shift defensively. From these 2 goals he's obviously scored as well. We did quite well. And I will say as well, I've already praised them in the game, but shout out to Mesut Ozil and things like that. What I like about our team is clearly it wasn't the best defensive performance. We conceded two goals, 2 sloppy goals at that. But what I liked is there's 2 banks of 4 again, people. When the opposition is trying to attack, we're defending like this in our own half from threats. Let me make it a bit more obvious and a bit more exaggerated. Sorry, people. But I prefer this. Honestly, people, I prefer this because look, 2 banks of 4 were difficult to break down. So it don't even matter when Richarlison is there, and it doesn't even matter when Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are there. And to be fair, whenever one of them went up for the ball, if it weren't Mustafi, other players were going to back it, people, and that's what we needed to do. It couldn't just be one man on defending today. You saw obviously Ozil was probably playing. Well, he was playing as the second striker with Nketiah more or less in the defensive phase. And I've already mentioned we get forward in a 4 to great effect. But yeah, man, we tried to. I really liked how we saw that. I think when we was trying to manage the game in the second half, I saw a bit of that. You had Nketiah at some point through the middle by himself. Aubameyang pulled out. We had our, everybody else around. You saw us try to manage the game out a bit like this, and that's what I liked. That's what I liked to see, people. I've already bigged up Mustafi for him playing well. We let ourselves down defensively, like I said. I've already spoken about Everton's game plan. Clearly, they tried to come, be narrow, be compact. Sigurdsson on the left, Iwobi on the right. Play them very inside. You have experienced left back in Baines. Try and limit the positions for Saka and well, assuming Saka was playing, because I'm pretty sure many people didn't see him being subbed. Saka and Pepe in particular, try and limit the space they can dribble into. I saw what Carlo Ancelotti really tried to come with, people. So yeah, we just need to improve a bit more defensively. Really impressed with what I saw with Xhaka and Dani Ceballos, because what I like about them is when it comes to receiving the ball off the centre halves now, you normally see something like this. You'd see. Let me move the attackers for a sec. Leno gets the ball. You see our wide men pull out because Saka to a more exaggerated extent, bit higher. Ceballos was coming here to pick up the ball, people. This was allowing Xhaka to just, and they were swapping at times, but this was allowing Xhaka to stay slightly further forward and Ceballos be the one to pick up the ball off the centre halves, which allowed Saka to stay up there to try and connect with Aubameyang, Pepe. Yeah, so you have Ceballos, you got Xhaka. What I like is Mesut Ozil as well. Mesut Ozil, you got Bellerin here. Let's just put Bellerin here. You don't really need Ozil there if Ceballos and Xhaka's going to do that. And Ceballos really gets the best out of them too. Because obviously, look, we can skip out a couple of needless passes, sort of thing, people. So I was really impressed with what I see. And obviously, when we attack, I would love to see what we can do, man. Because you've got Aubameyang going down there. You had Eddie. You had Pepe. You had Ozil joining the attack. You had Ceballos and Xhaka behind. You had your fullbacks going forward. In an ideal world, Bellerin, Saka does it, but Bellerin should be there. And you play a high line with your defence. I think that's what Arteta long term wants to do against oppositions, but we clearly need to improve in several phases to be able to do that to a great extent. I don't think I'm missing anything else, people. Great cross from Pepe, like I said. Obviously, he's got 10 goals, 10 assists this season, so it's lovely for his confidence per se. But from a tactical point of view, there's nothing more to add, so I'm going to get out of it. People, you know I love speaking to you lot, but I'm going to have to love and leave you. Deluded.